Hey guys, Level Cap here. I hope you had a good holiday. Today we're going to be sniping our way through a review of the Carcano M91. This is a new bolt-action rifle available with the Turning Tides DLC. To unlock this weapon, you either have to have the DLC or Battlefield 1 Premium, and you need to perform 25 kills with the Gewehr M95 carbine and destroy 5 explosives. This is really a very easy unlock to get, and you should be able to do it on just about any Battlefield map without too much trouble. Now, what's interesting about this gun is that everybody's predicting it to be a top competitor to the Gewehr M95. This is one of the fastest firing sniper rifles in the game prior to the Carcano, and so people want to see how it stacks up against the Gewehr M95, and today I believe I can answer that question in depth. Now, there's only one variant of the Carcano M91 right now. It fires at 73 rounds per minute, making it a faster rate of fire than the Gewehr M95, which is a 66 round per minute rate of fire, significantly faster rate of fire, and it can also hold 6 rounds in a magazine rather than 5. So already the Carcano's got a leg up on the M95 in certain regards. And like the M95 and also the Russian 1895 Trench, this weapon does not have a sweet spot mechanic in that it replicates the Battlefield 4, Battlefield 3 sniper mechanics most closely. You're never going to get that one-shot body shot kill at any range unless your opponent is already damaged. You got to go for the headshots to get a one-shot kill with this, or you have to rely on the very fast rate of fire to allow you to get 2 body shots in quick succession. Now, where the Carcano starts to drop off in comparison to the M95 is in the damage model. It does 85 max and 54 minimum at further ranges. The Gewehr 95 does 90 max and 79 minimum at further ranges. This still means that both rifles are a 2-shot body shot kill at any range. It's just that the Gewehr M95 means you might get that 1-shot kill if your opponent's a little bit damaged or has a little bit less damage compared to the Carcano. So the M95 gives you a little bit of a damage safety net there. If your opponent has a little bit of damage, you have a pretty high chance of getting them with a 1-shot kill with the M95, where the Carcano just doesn't have that much of a safety net. The other area, and this is a big area for me, is that the Carcano only has one variant, which means you only have iron sights as your aiming reticle. So you can either use the radium sights or the standard iron sights. They're both usable as far as irons go, but I'm just not a big fan of irons, especially on weapons that are intended to be used at further ranges. Now, the M95 has the Marksman Variant, which is the variant of that weapon that I prefer to use. It allows me to zoom in and be a bit more precise at further ranges, making me, I think, more effective with the M95 than I am with the Carcano. That being said, there are some people who are incredibly good with iron sights on these bolt-action rifles, and if you don't mind irons, then this is not a downside. In addition to that, I believe the irons do give you a slightly faster ADS mechanics, so you do have a quicker engagement time just by a fraction of a second. And one final area in which the Carcano does beat out the M95 is in the muzzle velocity, just by a little bit. It has a 700 meter per second muzzle velocity, where the M95 has the 620 meter per second muzzle velocity. Also, the Carcano has much more accurate hipfire capabilities, which I'll admit does come in handy, and I got some pretty decent hipfire kills while I was trying out this weapon. Now, on paper, using Simthic.com stats, it seems just like the Carcano M91 is better than the M95. It seems like no contest, the Carcano fires faster. It has 1 more shot in the magazine, 6 shots instead of 5. It has faster muzzle velocity. It has better hipfire accuracy. There's not a whole lot going for the M95 here on paper, except for the fact that the M95 has 3 variants, and the Marksman Variant has that 4 times optic that makes it far more reliable for landing shots, at least for me personally. I much prefer a sniper rifle or a bolt-action rifle with an optic on it, a scope on it that I can zoom in with. When I'm reliant on iron sights, all of a sudden I feel like my accuracy and my ability to land shots reliably goes way downhill. Now, this could just be because I practice and I'm mostly used to firing sniper rifles with high-powered optics, allowing me to be more precise, and that I could get better with iron sight rifles, but I just felt like the whole time I was using the Carcano, every time I landed a shot, I was getting pretty darn lucky. And it did feel like that a lot of the time. I did get better with it the more and more I used it, so I could see myself becoming more effective with this weapon. I don't know, though, if I would be able to get to the level of effectiveness where I am with the M95, just because of that high-powered optic on the Marksman variant. If I had to use a different version of the M95, like the carbine or the infantry version, I probably would pick the Carcano, because at that point, the benefits of the Carcano outweighed the simplistic damage model upgrade of the M95. Not to say that the damage model of the M95 should not be considered when balancing the two guns against each other. The Carcano doing 54 at range really isn't particularly impressive, and if you start hitting leg shots and stuff, I think you might even end up needing to get a 3-shot kill in rare situations. Again, though, when you start getting into sniper duels, I found the Carcano to be extremely lacking, where the M95 is actually quite capable. At the further ranges, the optic allows me to not only land headshots for instant kills on my opponents, but it just allows me to be more reliable and land my shots. With the Carcano at that extreme range, the iron sights are just about bigger than the actual enemy I'm shooting at, so being precise becomes very difficult, almost completely impossible for me personally. If you're a god with iron sights, then go for it. You know, you shouldn't have any complaints with this weapon. But again, that's my main gripe, and the difference in performance between me using this weapon and the M95 is extreme on pretty much any map. However, if you are determined to use the M91 Carcano, I can definitely give you some tips on what kind of maps or situations it's going to be most effective. You're not going to want to use this at extreme ranges. It's going to be more of a medium long range rifle. So you want to be able to see your opponent fairly accurately and feel confident in your ability to hit them with iron sights. That's the most important. Once you push that range too far and you start missing a lot of your shots because the irons just aren't effective at range, this weapon becomes completely ineffective. You have to also find a map that has decent cover. You're not going to be able to go out in an open field and beat somebody at medium range with this weapon. Anybody who's playing support class or a medic class, another sniper class, even assault with some of the longer range assault weapons, it's going to be really hard to take them down at medium range unless you're taking advantage of the cover. And that's the benefit of this, is peeking out from behind cover, taking your shot, landing the shot, getting back behind cover, rechambering around, and peeking out again. Not a lot of weapons have the ability to do quick peeks like this, and that's what you're going to have to do with this weapon to be most effective in stand-up firefights. Ideally, you want to be shooting at people who don't know where you are, and so you're really going to have to take advantage of your terrain or squad members so that you're playing more of a support role rather than the front lines role. This weapon becomes completely ineffective once you're suppressed, and so I do not recommend being in the front lines with it unless you're being unpredictable and coming in on weird flanks. Maps that can work well for this are Argonne Forest, Suez Canal, Amiens. They all have decent cover. They're all heavily infantry focused. You don't have to worry too much about vehicles coming in and sort of ruining your day. Something you'll also want to take advantage of with this rifle is just how accurate the Hipfire is compared to the other bolt-action rifles. I wouldn't recommend relying on the Hipfire of this weapon, but in extreme close quarters it is far more reliable than any of the other rifles out there, and you can actually get some pretty cool kills with it. So just keep that in mind and don't rule out Hipfire as an option. You don't always have to ADS, and you can actually keep moving around and keep moving quickly. Choosing your sidearm, of course, is important with this gun. Whether or not you want to go with something fast firing to finish off a kill or something like the Obras to completely get a single shot kill is entirely up to you. I was running with both Obras and M1911 and I enjoyed both of them. I think it really just depends on your play style or what you're in the mood for. So pick a strong sidearm as you would need to with any bolt action rifle. Probably more important with this one because you're going to be doing a lot of your combat in medium and close range, as this is heavily geared towards aggressive scout play. At the end of the day, you can actually have quite a lot of fun with this weapon. I had no trouble topping the servers using this sniper rifle, but it did still feel like I was struggling the majority of the time that I was using this rifle, and so I never really got to the point where I was feeling good, confident, and comfortable with it. I think there's just too many benefits to try and extending your combat range with the scout class, and once you go for the aggressive recon, you're losing a lot of those benefits. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope it gives you a good idea about whether or not you want to try out the Carcano M91 for yourself. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is Level Cap, signing off.